incubator of life through our lives.
Hi stars, this is Luminousz Star. Welcome to the channel. My current subscribers, thank you so much for your subscription. Thank you for motivating me and inspiring me to keep this channel active. All of you who are visiting for the first time, welcome to Luminousz Star, and I certainly hope you become a part of our Star family. Check the description box below for the details to today's video. Today is another vlog day, so again, welcome to Luminousz Star. Okay, so today's vlog, I want to talk about how sometimes our priorities are not very straight, but I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life. It's just that sometimes when we have a narcissist and a cluster B personality in our life, things can kind of get out of hand. And sometimes our priorities are not straight, okay? So, you know, the narcissist can distract us from doing that sometimes with all of the shenanigans and with all of the diabolical tactics that they may pull. Just sometimes taking a little time out to make sure that our priorities are straight, this is something that's going to be a game changer. So I really want to talk about when we make sure that our priorities are straight. This will ensure that whatever goals we have and what we set out to do will more than likely be something that will be very successful. But I'm not a financial advisor, but I can say this. What I learned was that anything that I wanted to do, I had to make sure my priorities were in line or straight. And what was that? That means that the relationship that I was having, which was very dysfunctional, I had to deal with that first before setting out to do anything. Meaning, how did that relationship affect? What was the aftermath of having a dysfunctional relationship with a narcissist or a cluster personality? I had to get that straight first. I had to deal with that first before setting out and trying to achieve any goal that I may have, such as becoming rich or becoming wealthy or getting a business for myself or going to school or even getting a career off the ground. I had to deal with that first. And I want you all to know that one of our stars reached out to me with that concern. A lot of you may be having the same concerns. So again, thank you for the vote of confidence, my star, for your having the belief in me that I could give you some financial advice. Okay, now having said all that, again, I want you to know this is what I learned, and that is whatever my goals were, whatever my priorities were, I had to make sure that I dealt with the first thing. So the first thing was to make sure that I got out of the situation or the circumstance, which was being in a dysfunctional relationship with a cluster B personality. I had to make that my #1 priority before I set out to do anything. Okay, again, whether that was a career, getting a business off the ground, getting new healthy relationships, I had to deal with that first. So just to put all this into perspective, I want you all to know, I certainly hope that all of your dreams come true. However, first things first, the priorities have to be in line, especially if you've gone no contact. After you've gone no contact, it's going to be a little scary sometimes. Sometimes you're probably going to feel like you can't do it, but I just want you to know, believe in yourself, okay? Yeah, that sounds cliche. However, first things first, and that is to change your circumstances, to change your situation, which is that you're in a dysfunctional relationship with a narcissist or cluster B personality. So what's the first thing on the priority list? Change that situation. Find out some of the positive things that you can do to change your situation or your circumstances. And you're not going to change the narcissist. You're not going to change the cluster B personality. But what you can do is believe in yourself and say, okay, these are my list. This is my list. This is my list. These are my priorities. What do I want to do? Envision how your life is going to look after you start marking everything off of the list. Okay, so I just want you all to know that that's the first thing. That's the first thing. Get the priorities in line. First things first. Positively change your circumstances. Positively change your situation. What do I mean by positively? What are some of the positive things that you can do today, right now, that's going to change your circumstances? You're not going to change the other person. You're not going to get them to share your vision. But as long as you believe in yourself, by your having that vision, by your getting your priorities straight, by your having that list of what you want to do, just a bucket list or whatever, right? Your goals, first things first. Whatever you want to set out to do, by making your dreams come true, right? First things first. Find out what you can do right now to change your situation, to change your circumstances that will be positive. One of the things that I did was I looked in the mirror. That was not easy. I'm not talking about, makeup, hair, and all that. Beyond that, looking into my own soul, my own spirit, okay, and asking myself some very critical questions, and then applying some tools. Okay, so when I applied those tools and I asked myself those critical questions, things started to become very positive for me. My situation started changing. My circumstances started changing. Some of those circumstances, some of those situations started to change. So I want to share that with you all. Okay, so I really wanted to share that and let my star know, the one that reached out to me. Thank you again for your vote of confidence that I could give you some financial advice. But again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I can share with you some of the things that I have personally gone through. So before my finances got a lot better, before my career got better, before things in my life started to turn for something more positive, right? I got my priorities in line. So I got my priorities straight. I looked into my own soul. I looked into my own spirit. I looked into my own heart. I looked into my own being, my essence. And I asked myself some very critical questions. And I applied certain tools to my life. And I'm telling you, some of my dreams have come true. For one thing, I moved into my own home. I used to live in transitional housing. Okay, this is a big step from that. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you all, and there's going to be some more videos and vlogs that I'm going to be coming up with to share a little bit more of my story with you all. Okay, but some of you already know some of my stories by reading the About section in the video or the channel. Just go to the About section and read a little bit more about my story. Okay, so I really appreciate y'all's time. I appreciate you all spending a little time listening and watching this video, this vlog. I certainly hope you have been inspired and motivated. Okay, question number one. Okay, stars, question number one. Okay, stars, question number one. What are some of the positive things that you can do right now to change your circumstances or your situation? Now, does this include the narcissist or the cluster personality? Why or why not? Question number two, who were you when you were involved in a dysfunctional relationship with the narcissist or the cluster personality? Who are you today? Do you notice any personal growth? Okay, third and final question. And I actually think this is the highlightable question. And that is, what is your personal definition of wealth? What about being rich? Okay, stars, I'm about to start on my smoothie, and I just thought we would go over a few more things while I do that. I have my little watercress here. I love this stuff. Look how fluffy and nice and green that is. Oh, I love it. Have some coconut milk, and I have some orange pineapple juice, and of course it's non-concentrated, and I have my organic bananas. I'm pointing over here because this is all, I don't know if you can see my bananas over here, but my favorite type of banana is organic. I mean, the regular bananas are just as good, maybe not as good, but yeah, I like my organic bananas. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about well, I was just talking to you all earlier today about priorities. I also started talking about becoming rich and also wealth. I'm not being sarcastic, but please look up rich and look up the word wealth. Okay, so you can compare that to your personal definition of being rich and becoming wealthy. And the reason why I point that out is because this is something I did a little while ago. I started looking at some of the things that I wanted. I'm a wealthy woman, and I am a wealthy person because of what and or who influences wealth in my life. I'm a rich woman because of some of my experiences. I'm a rich person because of some of my experience in life. What has enriched me? Who has influenced me to become rich? Okay, what has enriched me? What has enriched my life? some of my experiences. There were people that were involved in some of those experiences. I hope that makes sense. Oh my gosh, this watercress smells amazing. I wish you guys and gals, my stars, were here with me. Well, you are here with me, but I wish you could smell this. This is, oh my gosh, I love watercress, but my favorite is arugula. I just love the smell of it. It reminds me of when I was a little girl. Sometimes I would go outside and one of my neighbors, they would be cutting their lawn or, you know, doing their yard. And I would smell that fresh cut lawn. Loved it. I'm getting nostalgic now. So when we start to look at the definition or the personal definition of wealth and our personal definition of rich or becoming rich, I don't know about you, but it starts to place certain things into perspective. Such as, what are your goals? What are your dreams? Your current circumstances and your current situation, whereas the narcissist and the cluster B personality is concerned, has nothing to do with your dreams or your goals or what you may want to accomplish in life. Meaning, or translation, the narcissist has no business in your support base, and the narcissist has no business possibly in your life. So whereas your goals are concerned, whereas your dreams are concerned, your ideas, your concepts of what richness is to you, or becoming rich, or becoming wealthy, where does the narcissist fit in all that? Right, maybe they don't. Oh my gosh, this smells amazing. All right, now that I have my watercress and my bananas ready to go, I really wanted to point that out because this is something that I had an epiphany about before my situation started to turn for the better, before certain changes occurred in my life. I had to get my priorities straight. And I found out, for me, certain dysfunctional relationships did not fit into my dreams. They did not fit my vision of having a better life, whether it was my finances, whether it was my personal relationships. Yeah, those dysfunctional relationships and those particular people that didn't have the tools to have healthy relationships, they didn't fit. So just something to think about. I wanted to share this with you all because, you know, again, this was an epiphany that I had quite some time ago. Okay, so here's my coconut milk, and I'm mixing that right in with my juice, which again is pineapple and orange. So here's my watercress and my organic bananas. Oops, I want to spill that. Oh, I'm spilling it. I'm spilling it. All right, here we go. So as soon as we start putting our priorities together, certain things will come into a clearer perspective, more than likely. So this is also when clarity happens. So when a person is resistant to owning their own stuff. Now I'm bringing up ownership. Ownership is a part of becoming rich. Ownership is a part of wealth. Our experiences is what can enrich our lives. So there's your rich and there's your wealthy. How does this apply to your dreams? How does this apply to your vision and what type of life you want to have? Does the narcissist fit in that? Probably not. So when we start to look at the definition of rich, when we start to look at the definition of wealth, then we can start asking some very critical questions. So when it comes to ownership, when we are owning our own stuff. Okay, so when it comes to ownership and a person is unwilling to own their own stuff, this is what the narcissist and cluster B personality does. They blame everybody else. It's always everyone else's fault. They don't own their stuff. They don't own their mistakes. They don't own the failures. They don't own their poor choices. However, if you do that, that's a sign of your being wealthy. That's a sign of your being rich. So start looking for how you're rich today. Start looking for how you're wealthy. What and who influences your wealth? How are you rich? Who has enriched your life? Who has helped you to enrich your life? Very important. When a narcissist and cluster B personality, when they start blaming other people, they're in debt. Yeah, they might have a coin or two. Some of them may have a little money, but they're in debt. Debt means the things or the people that has ownership of you. You're not owning anything. So when a person resists owning their own stuff, that means they lack foresight. More than likely, if they lack value, so the lacking of the things can be the relationships that we've had. When we start seeing the value in people and the relationships, whether they're good or bad, then that means that we can see opportunities that come before us that can ensure our wealth. We can see the opportunities to become rich, whether that's financially or personally, our hearts, our minds, and with other people. Okay, so there's your rich. And how can we become wealthy? When we start owning our own stuff. Debt is when we are not owning our own stuff. Debt is something that can have you. You don't have it. It's amazing how some people, they desire wealth, they desire to become rich, yet they're not looking in their own lives to see who or what is influencing them to be rich and wealthy. Okay, so what's one of the things that makes me wealthy? My interest in investing wisely, not just financially, but personally. Wow, see how nice and green that is? Oh, I love it. I love it. Put this in the freezer for about 15 minutes. All right, so that's getting a little bit more frostier for me. All right, so what makes me rich? The relationships I've had, the experiences I've had with certain people. Okay, so investing in positive relationships, that is what enriches my life. So that's how I'm a rich woman. I'm a rich person. And again, how am I wealthy? Investing in positive relationships for a change. And owning the fact that I used to invest poorly in people, places, and things. So just wanted to share that with you all, because I used to, I used to blame the narcissist and the cluster B personality for everything. But when I started to look in the mirror and I started to realize, what are my dreams? What are my priorities? Do I have any goals? When I started really putting that to myself, things began to happen. So there's nothing wrong with having goals. There's nothing wrong with having dreams. I advocate that here on Luminous Star. All of my stars especially. I certainly hope that you don't think that your purpose on this planet is to be a narcissistic supplier, or a person who is supplying a narcissist, or you're only existing for the narcissist to please him or her. Oh my gosh, I hope not. So here's my little journal here, right? I do this. Actually, I have volumes of journals, right? I probably need to go ahead and comprise them in one book. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you all, because there has been times in my life, and of course, like everybody, I've suffered debt. Okay, I've suffered some poor choices. I've made some poor choices. I have been in dysfunctional relationships. I think pretty much everyone has. One of the things that I used to ask myself is, how can I be rich when I was resisting owning my own stuff? How can I ever become wealthy and see any opportunities to become wealthy if I wasn't owning my own stuff? Poor relationships, poor choices, dysfunctional relationships, investing in dysfunctional relationships, making mistakes. If I wasn't owning that, how can I own anything, even finances or wealth? Can't own it. can't own anything, can't become wealthy, can't become rich that way. So before I started to make more decisions for myself, whereas my life was concerned, I started to look at, again, where I was. Whenever a person is resistant to owning their own stuff, mistakes, right, poor choices, that means he or she is in debt. I don't care if they have a coin or two. I don't care what how much money is stacking up. They're in debt. Another sign of debt is having poor relationships or investing in dysfunctional relationships while not having any value or standards or integrity. Some of us know people that have a lot of money. They have a coin or two, but they lack integrity. They lack the value in other people. That's debt. A sign of wealth is investing in a healthy lifestyle. Minding what you place into your mind, not just in your mouth or in your body. Another sign of wealth is to invest in positive relationships, starting with the self. Taking time out to know who you are so you can know who someone else is. Being open to not only being known, but to knowing someone else. Another sign of wealth is taking some time out to invest in your own history. One of the things that I do is I research my family history. I research, okay, not only my family history and ancestral lineage, but also taking a look at some of the relationships I did have in the past and finding value in each person and in each relationship I had. So who enriched my life? Who has influenced me in a positive way? That's another way of saying this person helped me to experience richness in my life. This person has enriched my life. My experiences with this person has enriched my life. My going to another place I've never been to and meeting other people has enriched my life. My going to school and learning about something has enriched my life. Let me check on my smoothie. It may not be, no, it's not enough. One of the things that I learned, or one of the epiphanies I had, was that, and this is part of what got me started on researching my own family, you know, history and my ancestral lineage. And that was, how can I ever become rich or wealthy if I don't invest in myself? That's a part of me investing in myself, learning about my lineage, learning about my family history. That also enriches. You ever notice that some of the people that you may see on television and they're being interviewed, sometimes during that interview, their family history comes up, their ancestral lineage comes up. They may be in their home being interviewed. The camera scans around and you may see all types of pictures of their family up. You may hear them talk about the person who's being interviewed. They may talk about their family history. That's a part of their wealth. That's a part of their being rich. They take pride in that. So this is also a sign of being rich and wealthy. It's finding the value in people, finding the valuable lessons in each relationship you had. What did you learn? How did that person influence your life? So this is a part of becoming wealthy. This is a part of being rich. It's not just about the money. It's not just about the coin. It's about the experiences you've had in life and how it has enriched you. Do you remember the people who have touched your life in a positive way? Even those dysfunctional relationships, what did you learn?